Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hopefully you're all well. And today's video is just some general advice. We're gonna have some chat about you're coming from abroad, you've got your first job in NHS, you're a bit anxious, you're like, it's a new place, things work differently, what am I supposed to do? So in the next few minutes, I'm just gonna go over a few basic things. There's nothing very specific in it, but hopefully you'll enjoy it and hopefully it will help you in your careers in NHS. The first advice I give to anyone who's coming from abroad is whatever level you are competent at, try and start working up from a level below. For example, if you're a junior registrar, start working from an SHO level. If you're a senior registrar, start working up from a junior registrar level. I don't mean to say that don't apply for registrar jobs. If you're a registrar, you can apply for a registrar job. However, you can always ask the hospital that you're starting working in as, can I do my first month or first 2 months as a junior registrar or as an SHO, just so I can get a feel of things, I can settle in, I can see how things work. Because one thing you'll notice when you come from abroad is the medical system here is much different from what it is like back home. So my back home was Pakistan, but your back home might be India, it might be Philippines, it might be Sudan or any other country. And because the medical system is different, it takes some time to settle down first. You get used to your interactions with other professionals, your documentation, the medical legal side of things, and you don't want to be caught up in all of these. I would suggest also that you start at a junior level, because if for any reason your juniors are not there at work, you may be asked to step down at a junior level and you need to know what you're doing then. A lot of people worry about their CVs when they come to UK, and the basic reason for that is medical education here is much different from other countries. So a lot of medical students here will have built their CV over the course of their medical education. However, this is not what happens in my country, Pakistan, and I am sure it doesn't happen in other parts of the world as well. But a lot of people get too anxious about it, and the first thing they're worrying about, the first day at work, and all they worry about is, I don't have a research or an audit or teaching on my CV. My advice is take things slow and steady. Take your time to settle in first. So once you start working, you need to get used to the place, the people, the work, the guidelines. And once you've become used to your everyday work, then start worrying about your CV. You'll have plenty of time to build up on your CV. You can ask for advice, guidance, help from your others, seniors, other colleagues around you, motivation and some dedication from your side. But do not worry about it from the very first day, because you need that time to just get used to the system. So it's your first day in a medical job, you've come to a ward, you don't know how things work. Ask people around, ask them, what am I supposed to do? What is the expectation out of my role as a SHO or as a registrar? Am I supposed to be part of this ward round? Am I supposed to do jobs as we walk around, or am I supposed to save them for later? What is this equipment? I've never used this equipment before. What guidelines are you following? Where is the paperwork? Where is the stationery? What forms do I need to fill in? So this is the kind of stuff you'll come across on a daily basis. Take your time, get used to the system. If you're not familiar with an equipment, if you're not familiar with the procedure, ask for help. Which brings me to my next point, that help will always be available. However, I have found out over last 8 years of working in NHS, IMGs especially coming from abroad are very reluctant to ask for help, and that is because I think back home the expectation is you will cope whatever is thrown your way. However, in NHS the general safety principle is, if you do not feel competent in doing a procedure, or if you're not familiar with an equipment, or if you're not familiar with the process, you're expected to ask for help. So if I say to my consultant that I've done central lines, but this equipment is new to me, so if you show me once how you do it and then I can take it from there, he's not gonna sit there and think that this is a registrar who doesn't even know how to do a central line. I'm just talking in context of anesthesia, don't worry about it. If you're a medical registrar, you may not even be expected to do a central line. If you feel you need some help or some guidance, just ask for it, and people are there and will be more than happy to help you. But make a habit of asking, which brings me to my next point, which is learn to say no. And by that I don't mean that, someone gives you a job and you tell them no, but if someone gives you a job you don't feel very confident or competent in, then learn to say no in a very polite and not so rude manner. So I appreciate what you're trying to say, but because I've not done this procedure before, is there any chance I can do it with you? And that's another very, very good opportunity for you to train, get some assessments done, build up on your portfolio, your CV. So use those opportunities of learning, get someone to supervise you, and then you can get some assessments signed off. But it is very, very important, if you're inundated in work, if someone gives you a job that is too much for you, learn to say no, or at least say it very politely. This next one is the most important bit, which will catch you out in one way or the other at some point of your training or non-training post, and that is communication. Now, it's no one's fault, but IMGs, especially when they come to UK, have a lot of problem with communication, be it with patients or be it with other members of the medical team. And the reason for that is communication is something which is more social, more cultural, and it might be entirely different where you come from. But when you come to England or UK and you're working in NHS, you need to get used to their ways of communication. And you'll find out that there is loads of pleases, thank yous, empathy involved in the conversations which happen here. Sometimes you may be given subtle ideas, subtle thoughts, or very benign remark. For example, your consultant might say, looks all right, but I would have done it this way. So you need to get that message. And sometimes you just have to clarify. You just have to speak to them and say, do you think it is all right for me to do it this way? Or would you rather have me do it this way? And then if they say, you know what, I'd rather have you do it this way, then you can make it an educational conversation and ask them what are the specific reasons that, that way is superior. And that can also become an assessment. But try and pick up these subtle hints in conversations, which is not easy at first. Once you focus on it, you will learn very quickly. But a lot of people make this mistake that they do not pay particular attention to communication and these subtle cues, and they suffer afterwards. Now, this last one is the most important tip as far as your work life goes, and this is make friends with your nurses. All of your nursing colleagues have been in your ward longer than you have. They spend more time with patients than you ever do. So they know the patients much better than you do. And if a nurse tells you something's not right, it usually means something's not right. Nurses are your friends. They will help you out. They will always try and watch your back. But it is very, very important that you are polite to your nurses. Do not be rude. Do not be a jerk. Make them a hot drink. If you're going to make a tea or coffee, ask nurses, bring them a box of chocolate. Just be nice. And that general niceness translates into so much, because your nurses will save your back and will save your career at some point in your life. And then last but not least is out of work life. So you've got a start time and you've got a finish time. Learn to finish on time. You need to look after yourself. If you spend 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours extra in hospital and do not finish on time, you will become tired, you'll start becoming sick, you'll burn out at some point. Also, try and switch off. So do not keep thinking about work. If it's a weekend, do not worry about your CV or portfolio. Do something nice, get a hobby, go to gym, go and visit places. You're gonna earn money, use it to book a holiday once the COVID thing settles down. Meet your friends, socialize out of work, and try and de-stress yourself, whatever works for you. I sometimes go, flying my drone, I do photography, I run, I bike, I do all sorts. Bring your stresses down to zero, and that way you'll be able to better manage yourself at work as well. This was it, just some general advice for people who are starting here and are new to the system. I'm not going to go into specifics because there are so many specifics. If you've got any questions, post them down in comments below. If you like the video, please give us a like. If you're liking videos in the channel, subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon, you'll be notified for the next video. And if you want me to talk about specific problems or anything in particular, just leave a comment below and I'll see what we can do about it in future. Take care, look after yourself, congratulations on your jobs, and Allah Hafiz.